Just waiting for some more people to come in before I start this live stream. Oh yeah. Let me just check this. Yes. Visuals look good. I'm just waiting for some more people to come in. Right. Let me switch off this live stream. Listen, this is Eldad Amara back with another live stream for you. Now, before I go into this live stream, I want to ask you, where are you from? Can you tell me where you're coming from? Which countries are you coming from? Are you from Denmark, Italy, the USA, France? Where else? Germany, the UK? Are you from Australia, Russia, Ukraine? Where are you from? Right, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back into my YouTube channel because I can hear an echo. Right, so let me go back. Let me turn this down. Right, because I don't know, OBS and me just don't seem to be getting on. Right? We just don't seem to be getting on. So anyway, this live stream today, I want to talk about some of my predictions. This video is entitled my 10. In actual fact, let me cut that bit out. I'm just going into some of my major predictions for 2024. Let me go over to my PowerPoint slides. Right. Do any of you know this figure? Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is? This is our current Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak. Sunak was appointed Prime Minister of the United Kingdom by King Charles III on the 25th of October 2022, making him the first British Asian Prime Minister and the first Hindu to hold the office. For some of you who don't know what Rishi Sunak looks like. Here he is, Rishi Sunak. Okay, he's our current Prime Minister of the Conservative Party back in the UK. I don't think Rishi is going to be Prime Minister for much longer, and that's one of my predictions. I'm not doing any of my predictions in any particular order. Okay, but I think Rishi is going to come under so much pressure. The general elections were due to be run this May, I believe, but I think it will be put back until November, which is round about the same time that America is having their elections. Note also, there's about 50% of the countries around the world that are having an election this year. Wow, 50% of the countries around the world are having an election this year. This is some serious times. There's going to be so many changes. Trust what I'm telling you. Another thing, we're going to have a lot of food shortages. Let me go back. We're going to have a lot of food shortages. Why? Because the farmers, around the world, they've been asked to reduce some of their lands to cultivate for things like trees. Okay? They've been asked to give up about 20% of their land. Also, the machinery which they're expected to use, they cannot afford, nor the fertilizers that they're expected to spray on their crops. Everything is so expensive. Many farmers cannot afford these materials. So guess what? If there's a reduction in these materials, a reduction in their land, then what would you expect? You'd expect that there's going to be less farmers in business as they start to close down. Look at India and what's going on in India. Farmers are taking their own lives. Why? Because they cannot afford the equipment in order to farm. They cannot afford the chemicals, and those who are taking out loans, cannot afford to pay them back to the banks. So guess what? They're taking their own lives. Well, what a situation, man. You don't hear anything about this on the news, do you? Do you? Why? I wonder why. Let me just reduce this picture a minute. Oh man, what a world we're living in. The W.E.F. are also saying, that's the World Economic Forum, that farmers need to reduce the amounts of methane that is being produced by their cattle, their cows, their sheep. They're producing too much methane. Look at what's going on in Europe. All the farmers protesting, right? They're losing their businesses, and it's not because they don't want to farm. It's because of all these restrictions and regulations which has been enforced by W.E.F, the W.E.F, the World Economic Forum. They're talking about sustainability. Look what is happening to the farmers. They're coming back and they're protesting against all these new regulations. Look at what's going on in Holland, The Hague. Farmers dumping their waste at The Hague. Their parliament. Germany, farmers blocking off roads. France, farmers protesting there. Where else? Belgium, and there's many other countries. They're coming out and they're protesting. They're losing their livelihoods. Anyway, with all what's going on, expect food shortages. I reckon starting somewhere around May. So you should be preparing yourself right now by putting away food. Do you hear me? Putting away food. Another thing, don't depend on your phones. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Why you shouldn't be dependent on your phones or your computers. In fact, the network. Okay? Another thing, people aren't going to be able to work soon. Why? Unless you've taken the BAP. Unless you've taken the BAP. There's going to be laws coming out soon around employment that tells you if you don't take the shot, right? If you don't take the shot, you can't work. They're writing certain things into people's contracts. Trust. Guess what? They're also reducing for those people who have contracts. This is in the UK. You used to be able to get 6 months paid in many jobs. Not all, but in many jobs. You used to be able to get 6 months pay if you were off sick. Up to 6 months. But now they're reducing this to 3 months. And after 3 months, if you're still sick, you may have to go. They're tightening up on employment laws. As I'm telling you right now, you are going to have to take this thing into your arm if you want to work. They are reducing the amount of time you can take off for your job. And this has been partly caused by the thing in 2020. Some people took the P. So guess what? The laws in employment has been tightened up. Do you hear me? Another thing. Wow. You know what? They got the... Boy, you lot think I'm crazy. Soon, you're gonna have drones flying around the cities. Not just in the UK. Not just in America. Not just in Jamaica. Not just in Germany. You're gonna have drones, miniature drones flying around, watching people, surveilling you, your every movement, everywhere you go, everywhere you turn. These drones will be there watching you. And guess what? They also have CCTV watching you. You got these devices they put down in the drains in the UK. And they can read car number plates as you're driving over these drains. Am I mad? Go check out the information for yourself. They've been putting these deadly devices in drains. Why? The UK, they're changing the layouts of the roads, preparing for smart cities. Look at London, the ultra emissions zone. Yeah, they call it ULIS. The ultra low emission zones, ULIS. Look how drivers in London are being punished because these cameras, they've got them up almost everywhere, watching the drivers and restricting their speed limit down to 20 miles per hour in most areas. And if you go into certain zones that you shouldn't have, you gotta pay some massive fines. Oh man, they got these blade runners. They call them the blade runners. What are they doing? They're chopping down these posts where these cameras sit. They're chopping down the signs. Go check it out. The blade runners protesting against ULIS. ULIS is part of what? It is part of the W.E.F's policies, sustainable goals, watching your carbon footprint. W.E.F. W.E.F. Let me show you the head of W.E.F. Let me show you this guy. Any of you ever seen this guy? Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwabs. I think we should give him a test. See if he's human. Put some swabs in his mouth and take his DNA and see if he's human. Klaus Schwabs. I'm just joking there. I can joke. Yes, YouTube. I can have a laugh. Right? You're gonna take my video down because I just made that joke? Right, listen. Klaus Martin Schwab is a German mechanical engineer, economist, and founder of the World Economic Forum. He has acted as the W.E.F.'s chairman since founding the organization in 1971. Wow, that's over how many years now? 50? These people make these plans for us well in advance. Well in advance. Under this man, Klaus Schwab, guess what? They're trying to create something they call the Great Reset. Some of you out there would have heard of this term. Some of you would not have. Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab. He and the rest of his organization, supported by a lot of economists, technocrats, scientists, also people such as actors, are associated with him and his W.E.F., the World Economic Forum. Go look at some of his members, pop stars, singers, actors involved in W.E.F. This organization seems to be quite elitist because it seems to have loads of very, very wealthy people involved in W.E.F., the World Economic Forum, and even some of the people that's in the British government are linked to W.E.F., to Klaus Schwab. I gotta laugh, but it's not funny because from 2020 right up to 2030, they have a plan for you, because guess what? You haven't got a plan for yourself. Klaus Schwab on the World Economic Forum. Yeah? And who else? The UN. And there's another group which I can never seem to remember their name. But they have a plan for you because you don't have a plan for yourself. I want to show you another person here. Let me show you someone else. Can I find him? Yes, this man. This man. This man. I'm going to predict. Here's another of my predictions. This man here. He's rejoined the Conservative Party. Okay? So, him and Rishi Sunak, they're prepping up for this next election. It's funny how they've just brought Cameron back into the party. This is an ex-Prime Minister of the Conservative Party in the UK. Here it says, Kingdom from 2010 to 2016 as the leader of the Conservative Party from 2005 to 2016 and as leader of the opposition from 2005 to 2010 while serving as member of Parliament for Whitney from 2001 to 2016. This guy here, he has association with W.E.F. You hear me? And Rishi Sunak, the guy I showed you earlier on. They're both connected to W.E.F. Trust what I'm telling you. Go check the information for yourself. I always say to people, don't believe what I'm telling you. Go check for yourself. Right, let me move on to another slide. Anyway, sorry, this David Cameron, I wouldn't be surprised, and I think he will probably step in Rishi Sunak's place, because Rishi will step down, or he's forced to step down before the election, if not very soon after the election. He will not reign as Prime Minister much beyond this year. Right, let me go to this guy here. Oh, let me go to this guy. Let me go back. Let me go back. This guy. This guy here. Wow, let me... What am I doing? Right, let me reduce. For some reason, every time I bring him up, something is happening here. Let me just reduce that. Let me just quickly show you this guy. Yes, this guy here. This guy here. So about the slides, right? He's also part of W.E.F., the World Economic Forum. Tony Blair, our ex-Prime Minister of the UK. Yeah? He was in the Labour Party. Man, this guy used to be quite a handsome guy, man. Yeah? He was one of our youngest Prime Ministers, but he's really, really aged. He used to have really dark hair. and quite sallow skin. To me, he was quite an attractive man. Not that I'm that way, I can assure you. But yeah, he was a good looking guy. But he's aged so much. I wonder what's made him age so much. This man has a lot of property all around the UK, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's got property abroad as well. But he's very wealthy, him and his wife, who is a barrister. Now, he served as leader of the opposition from 1994 to 1997 and held various shadow cabinet posts from 1987 to 1994. Blair was a member of Parliament, MP, for Shedfield from 1983 to 2007. He has 4 children, including Ewan. Okay? Political party Labour, Prime Minister John Major. Okay. This guy, this really tired looking guy, now he's going to be, I feel, the next leader of W.E.F. When Klaus Schwab steps down, this guy here, Tony Blair, who's got a lot of interest in Europe, will then step in. He will step in. If he doesn't step in as the leader for W.E.F., he will be leader of the United Nations, the UN. He will be either the leader of W.E.F. or the UN. And I'm making that prediction right now. Let me go back to, right, what's going on? I'm trying to get this slot. Woo! Yes! Eldad Amara with my predictions. You know how many I've got right over the years? And I made the prediction about Japan. Japan would be the first country that would have earthquakes of 2024. Right on the first day, what happened? Japan had a massive earthquake. There's going to be several earthquakes this year. Trust. I predict 8 on top of this one. Major earthquakes I'm talking about. And it's going to reach as far as Europe and into the UK. Hitting north, east, south, west, on that west side. On that west side of England, you're going to see a lot of damage. I reckon the earthquake will be on the Richter of 7.5 to 8. Other countries, China is going to be hit, and in that Middle Eastern section run by Turkey and Syria. Oh man. For the safety and the lives of other people. I really hope none of this happens. I really hope none of this happens. You know, seriously, life is too precious. But the planet right now is trying to clean itself. It's trying to get rid of all the toxins, all of the rubbish, all of the wrongs that have been done to Mother Nature. Just like a dog that has fleas on it and tries to shake the fleas off because it's fed up with having these fleas on itself, or it will jump into water trying to get rid of these fleas and these ticks that have been sucking the lifeblood out of it. The same thing has been done to Mother Nature, and now Mother Nature is fighting back. And for those people who are not aligned with Mother Nature, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? You too have to go. Look at this image. The devastation that an earthquake, earthquake, look at what this earthquake has done. Flatten out everything. Man and people looking for bodies, looking for their relatives, their friends. How much devastation an earthquake can do. Oh man. Oh man. Please, I really hope that my prediction does not come through. Let me move onto another slide. Here I was talking earlier on about drones. This is another thing that drones are going to be used for, right? To pick up medicine, yeah, from pharmacies, and to drop the medicines off to people in remote places, or people maybe elderly who cannot travel because maybe of some form of disability. These drones will be used more frequently. You will start to see this in 2024 towards September time onwards. I don't know how good these things will be in terms of winter when it's really cold. I don't know if it has any limitations, but I'm going to come on to something else about these drones. Something deadly, something insidious. Remember, you can use something for either good or you can use it for bad. You can use a gun for good or you can use a gun for bad. Yeah? Now, dependent on the mind behind these tools, you have some people who are benevolent and some who are malevolent. Good and bad people in this world. See, this drone is being used for something positive. Let me read this here. Drones can be used for rapid transportation of organs with high delicacy. This can potentially prevent any damage to organs during drones can be used for rapid transportation of organs with high delicacy. This can potentially prevent any damage to the organs during transportation. Drones can be used to deliver medical supplies cost effectively to people residing in remote areas and those affected by natural disaster or emergencies. I don't know what it says there. Right, drones can be used to deliver medical supplies cost effectively to people residing in remote areas and those affected by natural disasters or emergencies. That seems like it's just repeated itself there. Right, look at this. This is what I'm talking about now. You can use these drones malevolently. Listen, this one here has a grenade, a hand grenade attached to it. So, who is the target here? This drone. Who is it going to target? Look at what's going on right now in the Middle East. Look what's going on in Russia, or between Russia and another country. You see these things? You could probably use these in urban warfare. I've seen some drones and they've got a gun on it. Why are they inventing these things? Who's the target? You're going to start to see these things, especially when people start rioting and protesting. You're going to see these things out, okay? Trying to eliminate certain people. Right, let me go to another slide. You see this slide? You see this? Wow. The 8th of April. The 8th of April of this year. You're going to see some things, man. There's major planets that are going to be lining up. There's going to be also a lot of sun flares. Some of these flares are going to knock out pylons and satellites, and we're going to go into a period of darkness. You hear me? Prepare yourself. Your phones, your mobile phone, your computers, you put everything on these devices, just about everything. Your photos, yeah? What else? You pay for your bills on them. You receive payment on them. You pay for your shopping and all the rest of it. You got your personal ID. Everything is on these phones. Now, if satellites get knocked out, tell me this. How are you personally going to pay for any goods or services How you going to pay for food, petrol, energy? How are you going to survive? There's so many ways in which we could lose transmission with satellites, yeah, and with pylons. These things are supplying us with energy, communication. If these things go down, how are you going to survive? In 2024, from the 4th of April, there's going to be sun flares, but then it peaks in April, on April the 8th. How are you going to survive if these flares are knocked out? Sorry, not the flares. I was just distracted there. If these flares start knocking out satellites, these sun flares, okay? There's going to be a solar eclipse on the 8th of April. Do you hear me? I'm trying to find, because I can't remember the major planets that's going to be lining it up. I think Jupiter is one of them, and Venus. I'm trying to find this information. I'll have to come back. I'll have to come back to it. People, right now, you should be prepping, putting away food, but not only food. You should be putting away other resources, medicine, okay? You should be putting away medicine, things like painkillers, things like Vaseline, things like ointments, okay? You should be putting these things away. What else? Candles. You should be putting away. Torches. For those of you who can afford it, to have things like generators. Now I cannot find this piece of paper that tells me about the main planets that will line up, and I know I wrote this information down. Listen, April the 4th, 2024, planetary alignment of 4 major planets: Venus, Neptune, Saturn and Mars. And then 4 days later is a great solar eclipse. Okay? Is a great solar eclipse. So you should be putting things away. Alright, let me pull this thing down a minute. Let me go back here so I can see myself. I don't know what's going on. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Let me go back in. Yeah. So, another prediction is a period of darkness. But we're going to have more than one period of darkness this year. I don't know if any of you know of some telecommunications network, TNT, in America, look what happened there a few weeks ago. The phone lines went down and people went buck wild. Buck wild. People depend too much on their phones. They sleep with their phones. They get up with their phones, right? When they're crossing the road, they're looking at their phones and not looking at what's going on around them. People are like zombies. They're turning into androids. You're too dependent on this technology and on your computers. You can't do without it. It's like some kind of addiction. Karl Marx once said, religion is the opium of the people. I say now, modern times, social media is the opium of the people. We're walking around with our eyes wide shut when our eyes should be wide open. If you agree, I want you to hit yes. Hit the Y on your keyboard. Hit Y on your keyboard. You can do it. It's your own hand. Okay? Just hit yes. If you understand what I'm saying and you agree. We are too dependent on our phones. Not me personally. I don't keep everything on my phone. There's some days I don't bother with it. Just take it and just and chuck it one side. That's why I've gone through a few phones, because I just take it and just chuck it and not even looking where it's landing. Next thing it's smashed up. I don't care. Yeah? I'm not gonna get addicted. It's not my opium. It's not my opium. Let's go back. I want to show you a couple more slides before I sign off. Let me go back here. This is another one. Wow. Come on, thing. Load. Yes. Asteroids and comets. Asteroids. You can kind of see them or predict their path. Comets, they're more unpredictable. They come from deep out in space. Deep. Yeah? Carries ice on them. That's why I reckon our planet is primarily water, because I reckon these things over billions of years are kept on hitting this planet with the ice on its tail. Man, asteroids. This year, expect round about September 2 moving towards this planet, and one over North America. Why are these millionaires and billionaires creating right now bunkers, homes under the ground? Go look at Mark Zuckerberg. Who else? Gates. Bill Gates. Go look at who's the one who owns Amazon. Bezos. They're all building bunkers or housing under the ground. Why? All of a sudden as well. What is it that they're afraid of? Unless it's people revolting that they're afraid of because people are waking up. Or is it something to do with these comets or some natural disaster to come? Beyonce and Jay-Z has also, they've also gone into this. Yeah, there's an island right by Miami, I believe. Anyway, they bought some home there, ready for some possible collision of some kind of calamity. Trust, lots of things to come this year, going right up to 2030 and beyond. Let me show you something else. Just a couple more slides. Let me show you. Oh yeah. I've said we're turning into bots. We're turning into some kind of androids. Look at this. Oh my. I'm the madman. I'm the one that's off his head. I'm the one that's out there like Pluto. Yeah? I'm the Mad Hatter. I'm mad like a box of frogs. Funny saying that. Mad like a box of frogs. At my tree. You're right, Natter. That's what people say. You're a right Natter. And look at the things that these scientists are creating. Look at this thing. How does Neuralink brain chip works? This was created by, who's that guy? Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk? Or Elon Musk? He must do something to what? Human beings. Is this for the good or the bad? This Neuralink is supposed to have some really good benefits. As I say again, technology can be used for either good or bad, but it's the intention, it is the mind behind it. Right, Neuralink. 1. The brain consists of cells, special cells called neurons that transmit signals to other cells in the body, like our muscles and nerves. 2. The electrodes of the Neuralink chip are able to read these signals, which are then translated into motor controls. 3. This could control external technologies like computers or smartphones, or bodily functions like muscle movement. And I'm mad. Soon we ain't gonna have no human beings. Give it less than 100 years the way that things are going and the way people are so dependent on technology, addicted to it. Man, look at this. Some device like chip attached to the brain, and it can do things like working computers and smartphones and other bodily functions. You just have to think and it will do the job for you. You only have to think. You can use telepathy. You can use telepathy as well. This thing's attached to the back, I believe, of your spinal column. Yeah? At the back of your head. Are we that lazy that we need to use this Neuralink to turn on or turn off smartphones or to interact with it? We'll soon be extinct the way things are going, and some people don't care. As I say, technology, this technology, it can be also used for good. But then again, it can also be used for bad. Do you understand me? If you are hearing me, please hit yes on your keypad or type in Y. Let me go back and ask people again, where are you from? Where are you from? Are you from Canada? I've got a lot of people who follow me from Russia, Ukraine, India, where else? Canada, Australia. Are you from any of these countries? Please let me know where you're coming from. I'm trying to create a community here. So when people come in on my live streams, I would like you to make comments. I'd love to hear some of your ideas, some of your views, some of your feelings about some of the things that I have been discussing. I don't know it all. I would love for you to have some input into these live streams and also on the videos which I put on my two channels, one being Eyes Wide Shut, that is my main channel, and then I have my other channel which is called Spiritual Echelons. Spiritual Echelons. That is more to do with things such as meditation, acupuncture, natural medicines, the metaphysical. Whereas my other channel, Eyes Wide Shut, is to do with more everyday occurrences. Yeah? Things that are happening in the world right now and how to prep for these things. Let me go back to my last slide. Let me go back to my last slide. This man here. This man. Why? Let's see if that's coming on. Yes, King Charles was Prince Charles, but he's now King Charles. I expect in my prediction that this man, this king, will be stepping down. He will be stepping down this year. And unexpectedly, somebody else is going to come in his place. Some people are expecting it to be William. Some people expect it to be William because he should be next in line for the throne. There might be a big surprise coming here. King Charles, easy mistake. King Charles is going to step down this year. He's also got some health issues. I believe he had prostate cancer, but there's other things that's going on also. It's funny, Nostradamus, the great seer, he predicted apparently the death of the Queen, okay, and also that King Charles III would step down and somebody else would take his place. Let me go back. Right, let me look at these slides. Some people think that it's a load of rubbish. Okay. Right. Nostradamus, the 16th century French astrologer and seer from fiction, when examining his predictions, claim Nostradamus predict is often associated with cryptic prophecies that have intrigued people for centuries. However, it's essential to separate fact that Queen Elizabeth II would pass away in 2022 and King Charles III would abdicate, leaving the throne to Prince Harry. Ratings false. Here's the reality. Nostradamus wrote 942 prophecies in his book Les Prophéties, published in 1555. While some of his predictions have seemingly come true, such as the 9/11 attacks, others remain skeptical and open to interpretation. In the wake of Queen Elizabeth passing in September 2022, various hoaxes circulated online. One of these misleading claims suggested that Nostradamus foresaw the year of her death and predicted that King Charles III would abdicate, allowing Prince William to ascend the throne. Let me go on to the next slide. So this slide, the source of the rumor is an interpretation by author Maria Redding, who speculated about the year of the Queen Elizabeth II's death. Redding inaccurately predicted that the Commonwealth would cease to exist when Charles assumed the throne, based on Nostradamus' supposed prophecies. In summary, while Nostradamus' legacies continue to captivate our imagination, his predictions about Charles III and Prince Harry remain unfounded. The British monarchy's future unfolds through real world events, not ancient prophecies. But there have been other seers who have also predicted this thing about Harry stepping up whilst King Charles would abdicate his throne. So it's not just Nostradamus, but there's some people out there, they would want to knock his predictions because it's not in their interest. There's a book here, I showed it before, Old Moore's Almanac. Old Moore's Almanac. This was written at the start of 2023. Okay? Predictions for 2024. And similar to some of the predictions that I've made, this almanac has also made. Let me move this thing in closer. Right? It started, it looks like, in 1697, the original edition. Right? This is always written a year before the predictions start happening. And this book talks about the abdication of King Charles, and also the possible stepping down of Rishi Sunak, our present right, our present Prime Minister, that he stepped down, and I also believe he will. Anyway, I'm just about to wind things up. If you like this video, I'd like you to like, comment, subscribe and share. Join me for future live streams. In the summer, I will also be doing some very short live streams. They'll only last about 15 minutes or so, right? They'll be just snapshot live streams, and then I'll have my main live streams. I'm hoping to start bringing guests on my channel, Eyes Wide Shut, and also on my live streams starting from the end of March to early April. So I've got some guests lined up. It's just a matter of getting them on these particular dates. Anyway, again, if you like this video, this live stream, I would like you to like, comment, subscribe and share. And please don't forget to hit your notification bell, because you cannot depend on YouTube to be putting this on. So you need to check that, make sure that your notification bell is switched on. Another thing I'd like you to do is to share my video with as many people as you can, please. Anyway, for those of you who are still walking around with your eyes wide shut, it's time for you to have your eyes wide open. This is Eldad Amara with another live stream